Hey folks, what's up? Welcome back to another Poem Master video. So tonight we're gonna have the rerun of the special costume banners and units and stuff, right? So thought we'd talk a bit about them, right? So it's gonna be the rerun of last year's, the first one, right? Which is gonna be SC Diantha, SC Hilda, SC Jasmine, and then SC Guzma. So these four down here in the bottom left corner of this Sudoku grid. I don't know. Anyways, so all of them are good, man. All of them are good. I wouldn't say each one of them has aged as well as the other. There are some that aged very, very well. There's a few that maybe not so much, right? Well, one maybe in particular. So let's talk a bit about them. So the ones that definitely aged really, really well is SC Diantha and SC Guzma, especially with the addition of Fighting Zone. Both of them have been, have become very, very powerful. But the thing is, it's different levels, right? Like, Guzma's very, very nice in Fighting Zone because he's very self-sufficient and doesn't really need any buffs whatsoever, right? He just goes in, does his thing, punches the opponent, right? But like outside of Fighting Zone, he is a bit clunkier to use. Well, maybe clunky's not the right word. It's just that, like, he is a bit slow. If you do want to, look at him, his speed is relatively low, right? He does have a 4-gauge move, which, if you do miss, 50% accuracy, right? Yes, you do get the extra build-up on your tenacity, but downside is, well, you get no gauges back, right? And not even just that, like, since you miss, there's like no animation, so there's no like animation time for a few extra seconds of your gauge charging up, right? Because usually moves with longer animation times, you actually get slightly longer time to charge your gauge. But if dynamic punch misses, it's boom, on to the next move. You have no time to charge your gauges, and again, you're not getting any like move gauge refreshers or whatever, so that part does kind of suck. But again, in Fighting Zone, he is definitely very, very potent. He works pretty well with Aura Cynthia. He does have a sync if you do want, right? Although it's not, again, nothing super necessary. It's not anything crazy, but it is there if you do need so. SC Diantha is a different monster, right? SC Diantha works incredibly well with Aura Cynthia and Fighting Zone because of how quickly Aura Cynthia just maxes out her defenses, which does enable her multipliers, right? Whether it's Tough Cookie over here, or if you want to go with Brute Wits to sync, right, later on, etc. That is definitely very, very helpful for SC Diantha over here. And the other thing about SC Diantha that is great is that, unlike Guzma, she is much, much more flexible outside of Fighting Zone. So even if you don't have Fighting Zone, or if you're trying to split units apart, right, for different gauntlet runs, she is 100% capable of holding her own by herself, right? I mean, I'm not saying like as 1v whatever, right? Although you can do that in certain stages, but obviously there's not much point. But she's very, very, very nice, even on her own. Her speed is relatively decent, right? And then outside of that, you also have the extra speed buffs that you get from leashing the opponent's speed, right? And then every single time you hit them, you leash their defenses as well, debuff their defense. This is just an unreal unit, like all around powerful unit, with or without Fighting Zone. Absolute monster, very, very powerful. Moving on, Jasmine, she's all right. Like, that's a bit of a, like, she's good. She's a good unit, right? There's nothing really wrong with Jasmine, just that we have been getting stronger special supports, like a SS Chris or a SS Brandon, right? Does that make her worse? Not necessarily. Does it maybe give her a bit more competition in terms of, damn, if you want to pull for a special support, do you want to go with SC Jasmine, or do you want to go with one of the other ones? Maybe in that case, it doesn't make herself worse, right, as a unit. Nor does anything really have made her much better either, other than the fact that Yeah, we do have Johto Master Affairs. So Johto Master Affairs, since she is a Johto character, right, you do get that extra Master passive buff. But most of the time, again, it's in those scenarios gonna be a hard choice to pick over something like an SS Chris, right? But again, yeah, it's if you don't have SS Chris, then sure. But also, you should pull for SS Chris. She's really freaking good. But yeah, she's just a pretty standard special support, right? You have Team Sharp entry, give Team Crit buffs on entry. Got group morale boost every time your trainer uses a move, buffs special attack for your team. And over here you have crit buffs, so you can max out your crit buffs over here with Steel Yourselves, plus the entry crit buff right over there. And then you will have max special attack buffs as well if you could, pick up all ramped up over here. So that would be helpful if you do have her at 3 out of 5. That is one thing though. If you do want again, if you do really want her like full kit, you do kind of want to go for 3 out of 5 for her specifically. Nothing else really matters, I feel like, at 2 out of 5. Like you get like vigilance, you get like some tanking stuff, but like the big good stuff is at 3 out of 5, right? Whether it's catalyst, all ramped up, move gauge refresh 9 on absorb, mind games 4 on absorb, or even flash cannon on a roll 9. All that good stuff is at 3 out of 5. So that is something you do want to consider if you are trying to go for Celesteela over here, is that you want a lot of copies of her. Again, she's a good support. She's a very, very good support. I'd say one of the better special supports in the game. Very easy to max out your teams. Special attack and crit, also special defense. She buffs a decent amount as well. It's just really, I guess, one thing-ish is she is a bit slow. She is a bit slow, which is why something like Absorb, Move Gauge Refresh 9 would help a lot, right? She is definitely a bit slow, and I guess her physical defense isn't the best, but, I mean, it's not, like, terrible either, but she is definitely a very, very good special defense tank. So the last one I do want to talk about is Hilda over here. Hilda, again, not that she got any worse. And not that a lot of competition came out to really, take her spot or whatever. It's just that, like, even when she launched, she wasn't really in a great spot in comparison to some of the other rock type damages. Well, not saying she's bad. She was pretty solid, but, like, before she came out, where they had, like, Archeops, we had Classic Blue, right? It's just, she's solid. It's just she never was really on the level of like those two, right? And obviously rock types haven't gotten better most in comparison to some other types, mostly because they haven't gotten rock zone yet, but they should get the zone down the line, which by then she would be very, very powerful. But then again, Aerodactyl and Archeops would also get very, very, much more powerful as well. She's just a really, I guess, low gauge cost sort of damage dealer, a weird sort of AoE physical rock damage dealer, right? With Diamond Storm, after you Mega Evolve, right, you have fuel economy to take some gauges away. You still have the option of Stone Edge. Obviously doesn't hit as hard as Diamond Storm, but it is a single target option, right? Which is definitely good. The rest of her kit, you got Towering Force over here for sync, double down for extra sync stuff, ramming speed on Diamond Storm, still really, really nice stuff. I'd say you will get the base of her kit at 1 out of 5, but most of her good multipliers are at 3 out of 5, right? So if you do want to pull for more, 3 out of 5 is definitely, I guess, the way to go, right? As for the other two, if you are pulling for these two, if you just wanted the basic, just like a debuff, do a bit of damage, sort of SC Diantha, 1 out of 5 is fine, but again, like some of the others, all our good stuff is at 3 out of 5, whether it's Inertia, Tough Cookie, staggering 2 on Aura Sphere could be a very, very interesting thing you could work on as well. Ramp up on your trainer move if you don't have an extra special attack support. I got Brute Wits over here as a sync nuke, and then you got some other stuff here and there. And then as for Guzma, you really only just have like big, like your big sync nuke multiplier at 3 out of 5, so I do feel like Guzma at 1 out of 5 is definitely enough, right? Don't really need too much. I guess 2 out of 5 you do get move gauge refresh on dynamic punch, which is alright, but again, if it doesn't hit, like, sometimes not really worth the hassle regardless. And then At 3 out of 5, I don't feel like any of these are crazy good. Maybe Tenacity, just to get an extra physical move up next when your Dynamic Punch misses, right? But like outside of that, Sync Freebie's alright. Again, Haymaker is good if you're trying to sync with them. Same with Fuzzy Strike. Computer Synergy 1 is not really worth it. Same for Super Duper Effective. These are kind of trash, honestly. And then Super Victory, maybe, right? So yeah, that's all for these units. Again, I do feel like every one of them are still good, right? Even Hilda, right? Even Hilda, I think is at least solid. I don't think Hilda is really as worth as any of the other three. Mostly, I'd say more so due to the competition rather than anything really wrong with her herself. But it's we don't know the exact rates for these for this banner, but I would assume it should be 0.5% rate for each. Adds up to 2%, so pretty standard banner. Them for each sharing a quarter of the rates, right? So that being said, that is not like a great rates banner, but that's probably the only way we will be getting these units in the future in terms of banners. So if you don't have them, I'd say it's not a terrible idea to pull on them, right? Again, because they're all solid units, right? Again, you know, even Hilda, when she gets Rock Zone, again, maybe won't be as effective as maybe, you know, Aerodactyl or Archeops in Master Mode, but she should still do fine, right? And then Jasmine's always good to have. SC Jasmine, I'd say. SC Diantha is fantastic, and SC Guzma could be a bit of a hassle, right? If you don't have Fighting Zone, but with Fighting Zone, he's definitely very, very nice in there, right? Your gauges won't really matter if you take out the opponents in like 2 hits, right? So, all right. So yeah, that being said, it's probably a bit of a 7.5 out of 10-ish banner for me, I feel. Well, not for me, for, I guess, free-to-play players. If you're a whale, you could pull on it, right? I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money, but if you are free-to-play, I'd say there might be 5 other banners you might want to pull on first before getting to this one, is the only issue here, right? Like, yeah, these are good units. SC Diantha's great. SC Jasmine's great. SC Guzma's solid. SC Hilda's solid, but there might be 5 extra Master Fair banners you want to try your luck at first before going at these, right? Also, the Rosa is coming up as well. The next SC, allegedly Rosa, whatever, right? Maybe hypothetically, I don't know. I just heard a rumor. But from what I've heard, or maybe seen, or whatever, right? That's a good unit, man. That's a really, really good unit. Would I say it's better than like the best of these guys? Maybe, right? So there's also that to keep in mind. It's just that they're nice. They're nice. Oh, you know, neither of them are bad. Just that currently there's some higher priorities for most folks. Right? Unless you got them all, then good for you. Maybe try a look at this one then. Anyways, otherwise, that's me this one. I guess hope you all gentlemen guys think in the comments down below. Like, enjoy the videos, or channel some more Paul Mouse content. I'll see you guys in the next one then.